Manjushri, we will wait for 3-4 minutes and then we will start.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Manjushri, we can start.
Yes, sir. Samiksha?
Good morning, everyone. The past 2 days of our online session were grand success. The students gave best of response and the session were exhilarating. I, Miss Samiksha Patil, welcome you all for the last and final day of series of Alumni Talk. I have some guidelines for students. I request everyone to please mute their mic. If you have any queries, feel free to ask in chat box and comment section. We are going to have a Q&A session at the end. Make a note that attendance form will be circulated at any time between the session. So please be attentive. It's my honor to introduce our today's speaker, Mr. Jai Thakur, who is software engineer at Intel Corporation. He has done his bachelor's in electronics and telecommunication and master's in communication system from National Institute of Technology. He started his journey as interim engineering intern at Intel Corporation. Then he was part of 2G firmware verification team and then 5G firmware verification team, and currently working as a software engineer from last 1.5 years. In today's session, he is going to discuss his journey till now in the industry, followed by knowledge of small industries growing in telecommunication and job available in this field. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Amiksha. It was quite saying about me. I'll start presenting my screen. Let me know when you can see it. Let me. Okay, give me screen one only. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now, just a second. Okay, that should be fine. Okay. Okay, so before even I start our conversation, I wanted to say one thing that was regarding my teachers. If you see, when you Google it, alumni, right? I mean, you will always see that it's all about the ex-students and your current students. And what happens now? I see that our teachers has taken one extra step. They connect to their ex-students and they make their present students to connect with them, have this session. And this is what this is very appreciable. I mean, this is what teachers are doing, one extra steps to really make students connect is admirable, and all teachers who's doing this is really need a round of applause by everyone, whoever is listening and making this happen. Saying that, I will move on towards our discussion section. Samiksha told that we shouldn't mute ourselves, everyone, but I don't agree with that. If you need to ask any question, you can unmute and ask me a question. It can always be a, I would have loved this session if it would have been face to face, because there I would have understood a little bit more about what extra you needed, though it's pandemic kicked in and we can't do that. So feel free on yourself anytime. Don't shy away. Just ask a question, whatever you have it. Okay. I mean, if I know I can answer you, I'll definitely try to answer. Otherwise, I can always take offline. I mean, I can always reply you back on your Gmail or any other sort of communication. Okay. So what I'm going to discuss, most of the things Samiksha already covered for me, what I'm going to do. So the first, I will going to start with my career, how it's happened, what I did. We'll see a small flow diagram how chief strategy works. The idea to tell you that actually I already attended Prashant's session because I wanted to see what's happening, because I like attending it. So this is a similar diagram if you see, because such design kind of always goes same. So but I wanted to give you the feeling that how it gets translated into telecommunication field, how that telecommunication field uses a chip designing as well. Then we will go and we'll understand the broad top level, how the telecommunication field is going, what has been done, where currently it's going, and what are the options might be possible. And then one thing which I always wanted to tell, that alumni is more about you guys. I mean, the present student. Okay, it's all about what help you might be needing from the previous one, and then you grow up and then you help it out the next coming guys. So this is always like that way. So I wanted to keep a session where basically I tell you what might be the possible job opportunities that you can look into, and maybe a small as per my knowledge, what I feel that some pointers which might help you to do that, and we will end up with the Q&A session. Let me know if you think that anything else also needed. I think chat box is already going on. So if anything else you think that is required, I can always include and speak about it. Okay, so about my career. So me, Prashant, and all are on the same batch, 2009, Abhishek, Rahul, everyone. So yeah, I mean, pretty much that we joined B in 2009, and I mean, as many of people already would have said to you that, or maybe like you, I didn't had a clue. Okay, I mean, what engineering shall I do? Maybe I mean that time I didn't have a guidance before 12th standard that what should I do, but I was kind of studying. Okay, and I heard from people that okay, electronic telecommunication is good, let's go with that. Then I was like, okay, fine, let's go with that. So I studied 1 year, and after that I felt that maybe civil is more better. Okay, and I went to our principal that times, Mr. Satalkar, and I asked him, like, I was thinking to change my domain from electronics telecommunication to civil. Then he gave me some guidance. He told me that why electronics telecommunication is good, why you can pursue a career in that. And after kind of a discussion with him, I kind of content with the B. Otherwise, I wouldn't have talking to you. Maybe I was talking to civil guy till maybe if I would have reached somewhere, maybe. So I mean, that's how sometime it goes, right? I mean, you don't want sometime, or you don't like it, but the whole idea is that if you do something seriously, if you take something as that, no, I want to do it, and you put a bit of effort in that, okay, things happens. It always like that. I mean, it has been proven by our ancestor, our previous generation, so many in your current example. You take any successful people, they have shown, okay, that when you work hard, it's always possible that you can achieve it. Okay, and that's how I basically kind of started with my second year, and then I decently got decent marks and kind of completed my B. But at the end of the B, I again didn't had a clue actually that what shall I do next. But I always wanted to do something in my masters. But I was always confused that should I go into the technology field or shall I go into the MBA? Well, it's kind of a two options what we currently also a lot of people think about. And like you, if you suppose you're in fourth year, I also had a same trouble. Okay. And again, because I really like finance, I like reading about it, but I was not sure that I'm good at it. I mean, liking is a one place, being passionate about one thing, but can you do it? That's another part. So these are a few factors always there. So what I did basically, I kind of took a simple step. I thought I'll give both the exams, okay, both the entrance exams, and I let me evaluate myself by the exams basis, okay. So hence I gave our GATE that time, and MBA exam, entrance exam as well. And when I gave that, GATE was quite better, and hence I could get it in NIT Surat. It's in Gujarat. So I could get in NIT. Then I talked to Sundarajan sir. He was there that time. That what shall I do? I mean, I'm getting a job there. Sorry, I'm getting the admission there for the MTech. And I also have my MBA entrance results, but that's not so good. But maybe I can get it in some college. Then he suggested that see, I mean, whatever happens, right? I mean, if you enter into in some good colleges like NITs, IITs, it matters in the initial phases of life. It sometimes it matters because for example, let's say if you apply for the companies like maybe the product based companies, or maybe some big names like Intel, Qualcomm, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, what happens, right? I mean, even let's say even I am the interviewer there, okay, I will look for the colleges which are best, and it's there's nothing wrong about it, because they want to increase the revenue. How can they increase the revenue? By getting a people who are the best, right? And best colleges, the idea is that best colleges give the best students. I mean, that's the notion, right? I mean, there's a nothing sad about it. There's nothing wrong about it, okay? And hence they prefer a lot of IITians and ITians, and it's not like that the colleges like normal colleges, people don't get into it. They do get it into it in the colleges, in these companies also, but they always have to put little bit of extra efforts, or they might have to start with somewhere else, then they get some experience and they get in. I will come to that part. Okay. So the whole idea is to take, because I wanted to do something in masters, and after discussion with Narayan, I kind of made up my mind, and I joined masters. After joining masters, I studied there 1 year. It was quite interesting because it's NIT, and you get it's a different college and different feeling altogether. After that, what happens in next year, you have two options when you do masters. Either you can do the internship, whole year internship, and whatever the work you do inside that basically you can present as your project. Okay. But that project should be something which kind of does the research, or something which kind of academic basis, but it has a industrial value, so kind of goes in both the places. Okay. um, and the second option is that basically you can stay in college, and you can do your project, which basically can be utilized to write up papers and in different journals. And both has its plus or minus. Okay. One plus I see being in college and doing the project is that you stay in touch with teachers, and you kind of publish, because those are kind of academic work you do. So the chances that the rate at which you can publish your paper becomes quite high. Okay. When you go to the company, the chances that the work you do there that you can publish will become very less. Okay. The reason is very simple. There's a lot of things that you cannot write down in papers and publish it up, because see, whatever you do and you publish it, what is the profit for the company? Right. A company works in profits, right? And if you share everything what you do, that doesn't help company. Okay. So hence but there's some sections where you can always present it, your papers, but that becomes quite limited. Okay. That's a drawback of it, but there's a plus point of going to the company as well. The plus point of a company when you go for the internship is that you kind of understand how companies works. You kind of get touch with the people. Okay. Who are working in a company. You will have your colleagues, you will have their manager, you will have people around you who are working technology, which from where basically you come in. Okay. And hence the chances of context increases, hence the job opportunities also increases. Okay. So both has its plus or minus. Okay. And after masters, I was quite sure that I don't want to go to PhD, because I wanted to earn, due to the lot of reasons behind it. It's personal reasons. So hence I wanted to limit my education till masters, and hence I looking to these points, I went to the internship. Okay. Because I wanted to kind of get into touch with company, so that I can maybe get a chance to do the job. And I think I forgot to tell you that I did masters in communication. Okay. BTech in as you know, electronics telecommunication, and masters in pure communications. Okay. Basically where you read about different channels, signal processing, RF, those sort of things. Okay. And hence the internship which I got it in internship in 2G. Okay. And if you see, my 6 year of my education was in communication. So I was quite lucky that I got in the field of communication as well. And as I got there, it becomes a little easy for me. Okay. Why easy? Because I don't have to really learn everything while going into the industry. But there's always a part that you always have to learn when you go to the industry. I don't think till now we have a curriculum which you learn and directly start working. No one teaches you anything. It doesn't work like that. Okay. It at all doesn't work like that. Okay. You always into the company, you study what they are doing, and then you start working on it. Okay. But then the question is that why they need degree people and master's people. The reason being to do that is that they need your basics. Okay. They need the fundamentals to be strong. What need to be done, what technology are going to work, that's gonna kind of a learning gonna happen. But what the basic block of it, that you should know. That's how the job part and your education, both are works hand to hand. Okay. And as I doing my internship, I kind of did a decent job, and I did that work and I presented to my college, and kind of my college accepted it. That was good. I mean, so that there's a few possibility also that sometime your college can tell you that you do something else as well, but in this case it was not. Then I didn't had a job. Okay, I mean, if you see, till now I don't have a job. I still have only an internship. But after 2015 I cannot sit, right? I mean, I need to find something. And Intel had not confirmed me till very end. Hence, in my college, a couple of company came. One was Rishabh Instruments, which was basically the instrumental based company, but they're in Nashik. But they do a little bit in electronics. Requirement also had it, and so I kind of applied for that, and I got that. I mean, salary was very very low, but as I didn't have an option, I wanted to keep something with me, because that's what I always wanted you to suggest as well. I mean, like getting into product based company is good. Getting in a startup, good, because both have the plus or minus. We will come to that, but not getting anything is a little bit more problematic than having something with you, because when you have something, you can always go ahead with and always try for something next step of it. Okay. And that's what even I was thinking that time. I was like, okay, I mean, I'll start with something and then we'll see what to be done. And then Infosys came to our college, and I applied for the Infosys. I had second options Infosys after that. So these two I had it. Okay. I mean, so Infosys was completely, as you know, it's completely software based company, service based company. They completely code. And Rishabh is quite still a bit of electronics involved. Okay. But at least I wanted to keep options. I mean, let's say, as I said earlier, I wanted something to be in my hand always. And I was kind of planning for the Rishabh instrument, because that was more related to my field. And then in the end, basically, Intel offered me the job in the same team where I was doing the internship. And then, of course, it's a product-based company. I mean, the paycheck will be more as compared to the others, which I got options. So it was quite, like easy to choose after that, what I want to choose. Okay. And that's how actually I end up my work in 2G. Okay, that's what I had gone through. Then basically I started working 2G, and right, 2G got invented in 1992, right? And I started my career in 2014. So see, the amount of work would have done already is quite far. But still, I mean, in a company, right, you always have issues. You always have small development. You always kind of modify about, right? You upgrade everything, like when you install app, it's always 1.0, 1.1 keeps on pushing you the new upgrade. So same thing here, in there's always a bit of work in that, but it wasn't that much as well. So what happens, I jumped from 2G to 4G. The reason for skipping 3G quite simple. 3G in itself is a vast technology. Okay. And I personally felt that that 3G is a dying technology. Okay. Before it too much kicked in, 4G was giving the very very good results, which made 4G quite superior. And if you see, in your phones also, right? There's the amount of duration of year where people use 3G has reduced significantly. Okay. But 4G and later in 5G is gonna be the long time. Okay. Still, if you see the 4G you have been using from some time, it is gonna stretch, okay, a little bit more as well. Hence, I wanted to study what 4G, and see, when I moved to 4G, I do not know anything about 4G. Okay, that's what I want to tell you. Okay, this is what happens in companies. Okay, when you move from one technology to another, you do not know about it. Okay, but you always know the basics, like you always learned. Okay, what is AM, what is FM, what is OFDM. Okay, these things you always learn. Okay, how basically carrier splitting is happening, what is spatial multiplexing. You know these things because this is what you taught. Okay, and this is what being used. But how it's being used, that comes under the 4G. Okay, that's come under the 5G. The way they utilize the channels, they basically do the timing synchronization, that they do the frequency correction. Okay, those things are different. Those things are the new. Okay, which you always have to learn in, and company even understands that. Okay, no company expects that you come from the college and you just start working in a 4G or 5G. No, They don't do that. Okay, they always gives you the training, okay, that what it means. They always give you time, but they look for the basics. Okay, so always keep yourself in your mind that you always stick yourself with the basics. Okay, that helps. Okay, and then as a company move towards 5G, I also slowly started getting into the 5G, because I felt again this is a trending topic and it's a new topic which I should be learning, so that I will be kind of not get outdated. Because like what happens in communication, right? Communication is a field which gets outdated quickly, okay, if you don't learn it. So it's quite learnable. No, you have to keep on learning in communication. And I'm sure, pretty much sure, after that it will be the 6G. I mean, it'll keep on going, because I mean, people are always researching, people are always trying to find the best thing, and they want to make things faster. So the research is always going to go ahead. Okay, it's not going to get reduced. Hence, it's always that you keep on step by step. I mean, take yourself time, you learn it. I mean, in one stretch nothing happens. Okay, I mean, it's not a sprint. Okay, it's a marathon. Take it slowly. Okay, I mean, learn, and day by day learn something, and it's quite natural. Our brains has developed in a way that you will eventually learn and reach to that. In 2019 time, Intel thought of selling their business to Apple, and hence I had to stop my journey with the communication with that. I had an options actually. After that, when that news came, I applied to the Samsung. I got it into Samsung. I applied in Apple. I got it into Apple. But there was some family concerns, and I had some other thought as well. Hence, I kind of switched my career from communication to the other field. I mean, it's under NDA, so I'm not kind of discussing about it. So that's my second part. Like after 2019, I'm writing as a software engineer, but there's something other down the line. So anyway, we're gonna only speak about the communication, so that should be fine. Okay, this is what I have been doing in my work, and I would like to say the next part about the chip design. Okay, I'm pretty sure that you would have seen this. I think Prashant do the similar kind of the flow diagram. He already also had it. Okay, uh, okay, but he was talking about Broadcom. Okay, how the network chips are being designed. Okay, what do you see the similarity? Okay, you see the specification, you see the architecture design, you see the RTL design, so the RTL verification, and once RTL verification has been done, okay, you go for the chips pre-silicon verification. Pre-silicon verification is nothing but you kind of simulate what hardware is gonna come, what chip is gonna come. You put it in computer. Okay, you kind of make a virtual environment of it, and you feed your scenario to it. Okay, and you see that what's happening here. Okay, I mean, does this work, does this doesn't work? If it doesn't work, why it doesn't work? Okay, and whatever doesn't work, you fix in your architecture. Okay, and you repeat this loop. Okay, and then you push your your complete package to the fabrication. Okay, why do you do that? Okay, why do you come and do the pre-silicon verification? The reason for doing the pre-silicon verification is to save lot of money. Okay, why do I say a lot of money? Because whenever you spin a fabrication, it's in $1 million. Okay, and just imagine you make a mistake, you spin again fabrication, you make a mistake, you again do it. Okay, and if you do that, there's the two problems with it. One, it takes a long time basically to reach and get fabricated and come back for your verification. Okay, that's the point number one. So you're gonna miss your deadlines, you're gonna miss your targets, and your competitors are gonna go ahead. The second point is that the amount of money is required to do the fabrication, even if it's small, even when you go for one single chip, okay, verification is too high, because it doesn't work like you just PCB put it out. It doesn't work like that. It's neat. It has its own environment. Okay, hence you fix everything whatever you think is possible, but still many cases it doesn't work. Okay, I mean, still some things you always leak, and you might have to do the refabrication of things, but you try as much as is possible that you virtually kind of make things, and you write down the code to do that. Okay, but if you see this, it's kind of same. Okay, what we had in network chips. Okay, what changes here is that the architectural design. Okay, as you know, Intel, right? I mean, Intel works in a lot of domains, okay, but they are kind of considered the leaders, market leader in processors. If you been using computers, the high chances that you would have used the Intel processor into it, like i3, i5, i7, and Celeron previously, dual core Pentium, all these. I mean, they have a history. I mean, it's like a 52 years old company, right? I mean, there's a group of 3 people who started this company, and it has reached to like around 1 lakh employee. They have it now. Okay, so they do a lot of research, a lot of work in a field of processor. Apart from that, they also provide these processors into the server. So if you see the like you write like some code, you are suppose you're doing some Facebook work, okay, you're using some Facebook thing, or you're using the Amazon thing, you kind of using Intel in the background, because what happens, this data is getting stored, manipulated, calculated, modified, everything on a server. Okay, and nowadays, even people have reducing their capacity of their laptop, and they kind of go and use things on server because it's cheap actually, right? I mean, there's no need to constantly put money in that. You can buy, people buy for certain space, and they kind of give you for some duration with some money. Okay, it's like a kind of taking things on rent. Okay, so it becomes a little bit cheaper. Okay, so Intel is like around 99 to 55% of a complete server is made by Intel. Okay, which is too good. I mean, but if you see that only servers will not work. Okay, let's say only Intel is there, it won't work. Okay, you always need something which can connect that information and pass it through. Then you need a Broadcom network cards inside that. Okay, now let's say when you come and you need let's say you're using your phone to do that, you always need a towers. Okay, then you might need a Hawaii or any other companies, the tower implementation. We also have Bharati, Airtel, it's became named to Indus Tower now. So these people make that. So the company works in kind of dependent, and all these products what you use, from the small to the big, it's always interlinked with each other. Okay, but when you come back to the designing the chip, the suppose if you're the RTL verification engineer, okay, what extra you have to learn, whether you work in the network engineer or you work in a communication engineer, you just have to understand the protocols, what works in network, and you have to understand a bit of about the communication. But how do you code, how do you write things, how do you verify the RTL, it's kind of same. Okay, it's kind of same. And that is what happens down the layer as well. Okay, let's say if you do the pre-silicon verification, you have to understand about the what communications does. I mean, okay, if I have this channel, this is a specification comes to me, let me write something like that. If this is my network card, then I have to understand this IP and I have to write it discuss like that. Okay, I mean, that's a technology only which you have to extra learn it, but the underlying idea, how memory works, how MMU works, how SoC works, how interchip connectors works with each other, how do you debug a hardware module, these are the fundamentals which remain same. Okay, whether you work in Intel, whether you work in Broadcom, because I have seen a lot of people who goes from Intel to Broadcom, come from Bosch to Intel, and vice versa. The reason being they are able to do that because people who hire them, they also know, okay, that if someone has the the background of understanding of the lower level, he can always learn the specification and do things. Okay, it's not that rocket science. Okay, and that's the truth. Actually, it's not rocket science what we do. It's doable. Okay, it's frankly doable. Okay, and same go to post silicon verification. So where I kind of work, I will just like to tell you what I have worked actually. I have worked mostly on the pre-silicon verification and the post silicon verification before chip goes to the kind of fabrications, and when chips come back to us. So both the places, me and my team kind of we have worked on this part, whether it was in communication, whether it's 2G, 4G, 5G, and whether now what I'm doing, both. I mean, we are kind of on the same position. If you see that even the new task which I have taken, which I have shifted, right? Okay, I could do it. The reason being, what I had to learn the new technology which I am working on it. Okay, that's it. Okay, the down part, what I was doing earlier and what I'm doing right now, both remain same. Okay, and hence the hiring manager didn't have an issue with it. Okay, so you always I always try to think, that keep your basics strong. Okay, you understand. Okay, I mean x equal to, you say y plus 2 and y is 2, then it's always comes 4, right? You have to understand that, that logic you should always have with you. Okay, and if that is there, going into company, performing and doing things, and even getting the job in a big companies shouldn't be the big task. Okay, it should be doable. Okay, and believe in yourself that it's doable, and it is doable. Okay, it's like that. Okay, saying that, this was about the chip. Okay, how this works, and I wanted to give you connection between, basically, what Prashant told and how communication works. Okay, it's always connected. Okay, that's why always believe that you can do it. That's the first part, and second part is that things are basics down the line is always same. Okay, so you can always do that. The third point which I wanted to tell about the telecommunication industry. Okay, and how it has been going till now. Okay, and why it's required. Okay, I see very, I felt a little sad when I heard, like, very few people takes communication nowadays. I remember in 2009. Okay, when I had to take admission, I was like, trying to find, okay, where can I get admission, or where can I not get. Okay, so it's it changes. I understand it. Things has changed, perspective has changed. Maybe the job requirements have changed a bit, but that's why I wanted to give you the idea that how telecommunication is important, and it cannot never be taken out from the complete ecosystem what we have right now. Okay, let's go back to 1993. Okay, when 2G got invented. Okay, and I'm talking about the edge here. Okay, I even remember when I think I was in 2007 or 2008. I was using a phone, and that time I used to get only edge. So, like, the technology which got developed 1993, after 15 years in 2008, actually I was kind of using 2G. Okay, with edge at my home, and you see the speed. Okay, you get 0.3 mbps of speed. Okay, just imagine. Okay, if you had this speed today, right now, okay, this call wouldn't have been possible. Okay, we couldn't have done this call. Okay, in this pandemic, I don't even think that anyone could have study online. Okay, it's not possible. Okay, the reason being, okay, on and phone, basically you cannot do that because you don't have reached till 4G, right? 0.3 mbps, you cannot transmit it. Okay, how can you transmit a video on this? Okay, let's say, okay, so then what did telecommunication engineer, they in 2001, basically they developed 3G, and they boosted their speed to 42 mbps. And that was the time I remember, people were able to do the video calling, and that actually came later to us. It's in 2010 or so. I remember that people started having the video calling, and that could be done because 42 mbps speed was there with you. Okay, this is something, the max speed, you never get it. Okay, that's the truth. And I understand why even like, say, Geo or Airtel, they can't give you. Okay, there's a lot of reasons behind it. Okay, but this is a maximum speed. Theoretically, let's say if you are alone in some area and its tower is there and everyone else's phone is switched off, they can give you the maximum speed of 42 mbps in 3G. Okay, then as you see, right, telecommunication engineers never stop. Okay, they keep on researching, and then in the 2009, they come up and they said, oh, we have 4G, and I have boosted your speed by 4 times again to 150 mbps. Okay, now they come in 2000 again, they do research by in 4 years, and in 4G plus LTE evolution, basically they call it here. And they say that, okay, I have a speed which is around 1 GB actually, that much speed I can give it to you. Okay, man. And the last one is 5G. Okay, I was quite lucky that I got an opportunity to work in 5G, and I could see actually that how the basics things we kind of added, and kind of the 5G call could have been done. Okay, it was quite an achievement for us when we did it. I remember when this sprint was going on, I think around for 20 days. Okay, we didn't I think I took a sleep only for maybe 3 to 4 hours a day. And it's not exaggeration, it's truth, I'm telling you. Okay, after that, of course, I took a and company understand this, and company gave me huge break that, okay, you worked so much, so you should, take this much of break and all. But that was this is two part of it. One, we want to do it, and it was so, engaging, so involving, right? I mean, we had a group of, I remember, some 20 22 people sitting in one room with a different expertise inside that. Okay, and I was basically, of course, in the verification side, developing things and telling them that, okay, it's not working. Okay, so I was a bad guy, but still, it's not working. And we could see, I could see that, how we fix one part, and in 22 days, okay, in the end, we could tell the management that yes, we have achieved, but we can do the 5G call. Okay, we can have the 5G thing in 2019. Actually, we could do that. Okay, so see, in 2018 it got introduced, and 2019 we had something which can work on 5G. Okay, and theoretically the speed can go to till 10 Gbps. Okay, and which is like, like say in one movie, okay, is how much, like, so maybe 2 GB, right? And when you see gigabit, so when you convert it into byte, so basically divide by 8, so like 1.25. Hence, like, 1 second, so you click and you have one movie downloaded into your phone of, good quality within a second. Okay, now if you go back to 2G in 1993 and you want to download 1.25 GB of data, just see what is the time requirement you need there. Okay, it's 1024 into 3. Okay, that many of a seconds you need to download it. Okay, that much of a speed. Okay, theoretically, telecommunication engineers have done it by the research, by the development, they have done till now. Okay, and you see to it, okay, that how it has impacted a society. Okay, I mean, I remember when I opened my bank account, one guy came to my office, and it's been like around some 5 years I have not gone to my branch. Okay, I have done everything from my phone. Okay, why can I do that? Because I have a connectivity to my bank. Right now, I know many of people right now, okay, listening me on your phone. Okay, if you don't have a laptop, or by some chances you are away from your laptop, you might be using your phone, and that is possible. Okay, why? Because of this invention. Okay, you need something, you go to supermarket, and there you go and check the prices, that okay, iska price itna hona chahiye, and then basically you can bargain as well. Okay, that is possible because of the speed, right? You go somewhere, you take a video and you upload it. Okay, and you can share with your friends, and you can be connected with the people. That is because of this development. Okay, so and this is not going to stop. And see, I mean, this has become, we all have become dependent on it now, right now. Okay, and just imagine, okay, I mean, you don't use your phone for, let's say, 1 week. Okay, I'm pretty much sure that many of 90% of you will get tempted to touch it. Okay, 90% of you. Okay, because it's addictive. Okay, and it's a fact. Okay, it's a fact. Plus it has a requirement. That's another fact of it. Okay, it's a really requirement. Hence, getting a job in telecommunication is never going to stop. The reason being, this speed has to increase again. Okay, because tomorrow, okay, you guys are kind of like watching right now in HDs. All videos we should be in HD, right? Tomorrow we all be like, no, it should be in 4K. Okay, now tomorrow I wanted to shoot my things in 4K. So the amount of data that you will be generating within a second is going to be quite high. Hence, this need to be the speed of, higher speed to transmit it back, right? If you don't transmit, how can you communicate? Okay, hence this research has to go ahead. Okay, and when it has to go ahead, the jobs, the people, that requirement is always there. Agreed with me? Hence, I'm saying that it's not that it can be get killed in one day. Okay, it's not possible. Okay, this is all about the telecommunication, how things has been going. Okay, so I'll tell you that when I say jobs are there, it's there. Okay, I mean, only thing is that you have to just try, get prepared. I'm come to that section. That's my going to be the next section about the jobs. What I wanted to talk about, how jobs has going to be, and where actually basically you can look into. Um, just a query. I mean, do you see that anything else you want me to talk about on this slide, or anything what I previously talked? Let me know. I'll start. Anything? No? Okay. So I'm taking answer as no. Let me share my screen again, and let me not duplicate it. Let me swap it. Yeah. Okay. Uh, so we have gone through this. Now the next is job opportunities. Okay, this is the one field I always wanted to kind of include this in this our presentation. The reason being, talking about things is not enough. Okay, you should also, I mean, get some pointers where you can actually look into, and what are the things possible. Okay, before even reaching to the job opportunities. Okay, see, you are in currently in a fourth year or third year. You're doing your bachelor's. Okay, I'll suggest, if you like studying, and if you're good at studying, okay, look for masters. There's nothing wrong in that, and if you can afford it, and if you like it, it helps in career building. It helps in lot of things actually. Okay, it gives you the exposure to basically tomorrow become a PhD. Tomorrow you can become teacher. Okay, I mean, see, I mean, it's not limited to one thing. Okay, and there's a lot of always an options you get it. Okay, when you look for the options, right? So don't worry about it. Okay, and there's always a place of everything. So that's what I always believe. Okay, now when you come about the job opportunities, right? I mean, left side I have taken a lot of see, the private companies are there. Okay, I mean, currently if you see the market leader, okay, in a chipset, which in telecommunication chipset, that is Qualcomm. Okay, I mean, Intel sold their business to Apple, hence now it's actually Qualcomm. In earlier it's also actually Qualcomm. Intel was always behind. So Qualcomm is a guaranteed market leader. Okay, where basically you can always look for the jobs, like you can always look for firmware verification. You can also look for the validation engineer. You can always look for the VLSI engineer. Okay, and it's not like they don't take the bachelors. They do take the bachelors as well. Okay, only thing is that, I mean, you can always get in the contact with someone who are there, and if you can give your resume for maybe the reference or something, you can always come to me for Intel or Qualcomm, or maybe for Broadcom to Prashant or other guest who spoke, right? And see, I mean, it's nothing's wrong in asking. Okay, that's my answer. That's my always saying is, okay, see, you ask someone, he doesn't help you, it's okay, you don't lose anything, right? I mean, okay, you gave a request, respond, didn't come back. You ask someone and he helps you, and you get with that, so you get a benefit, right? So what is the starting point is asking. Okay, and I mean, I have seen many people. Okay, they have got it. Okay, they have got it in some companies. Okay, and the many people who didn't get as well. Okay, so both are there. Okay, so always I'll suggest that, look for the options, ask people. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, that someone might help me or what he will think about it is okay. I mean, doesn't help you, what's the problem? Okay, so you can always look at job in Qualcomm. Okay, then after Qualcomm, the second leader is currently it's MediaTek, right? In the chip, in the telecommunication chips. Okay, so you can always look into the MediaTek. Okay, I mean, it's a decent company. Okay, I mean, see, I mean, what are the listed company? I'm giving you the left side. These are the big private companies. Okay, and list doesn't stop here. Okay, along behind. Okay, but this is, I have just taken a few of them, so just, you at least get a starting point that what type of company you should look. Okay, then you have a Samsung. Basically, Samsung has a diverse jobs. They have diverse product. I mean, they work in TV to phones to refrigerator. They have a lot of works they do. They do research, they have production company, lot of companies they work in. Okay, so you can in India, I mean, in the governments, I mean, they have a very good relation, and kind of they start, and they're gonna bring one of more company to India now. So a lot of options always comes with the Samsung. Okay, and Samsung is also a good place to actually to know, if you're systematic to want to learn and all. It's a good company. I mean, they give a lot of for the employees to grow and all. They always give some exams and other stuff, and it helps in people to basically learn and grow. Okay, and Huawei you have. Okay, Huawei basically, you can always these are telecom operator basically in India. I think it has a lot of issues with Huawei, but it's always I mean, possible actually. Then Ericsson you have Nokia, Intel, of course. I mean, not in the communication anymore field, but you can always go into the electronics field in Intel, like the processors. I mean, you need electronics engineer there, right? I mean, when you want to design it, or you want to basically have the verification, anything, you need some electronics people always, like Broadcom always. I mean, I think Prashant had a lot to talk about it. So they're also, see, Prashant also did EXTC. The only thing is that he studied networking, and he went into inside it. So I mean, there's always a way. Okay, how do you start? And also you can reach to it. Okay, Nvidia, they make a great graphics. Okay, I mean, and again, if you see the graphics, okay, and they make a great graphics, they make very good AI chips. Okay, and again, the possibility of job is here. Then you have LG Electronics, Havells, and Honeywell. I mean, and list doesn't stop. Okay, you need to look and try it out. Okay, send your resumes, ask for people. Okay, and keep in options. Try in one, doesn't work, another. Don't get disheartened. Okay, I remember, I mean, as I told, right, masters, I was looking, I was kind of, applying so many places I applied. Okay, many places I didn't get, and it's okay not to get it. Okay, I mean, that's not the end of the world, right? I mean, let's say if a Qualcomm doesn't give me a job, that doesn't end the world. I mean, there's thousands of company, still there. So don't worry about it. Okay, try, ask, and this all, you can always get it. Okay, now let's say, like, I mean, we don't get it in the big private companies. Okay, in the first shot. So what are the other options? Okay, you can always look in the contact with companies. Okay, like Sasuke, Global Edge, Mindtree, TMS Solutions. Okay, these guys are kind of, what they do, they take up people. Okay, and they take a contract with, let's say, Intel. Okay, now they send their people to Intel to work. So whatever the technology someone in Intel working, same technology, the Sasken guy is also be working inside that. Okay, now Intel will pay to the Sasken, and Sasken will pay to that employee. Okay, so any payment kind of gets routed, and in that routing, Sasken earns some money. Okay, and this employee who is Sasken, he also get opportunity to work in Intel, and Intel gets work done by someone which is like, contract basis, so he doesn't have to worry about the employee much. Sasken has to worry about the employee. Okay, so this in this you see, everyone's happy. Okay, everyone's work is done. Okay, this is a strictly contract based company, and where do we fit, and how this has helped us? Okay, uh, first of all, we get a job. That's a great thing. Second, you get a work on a technology which is, kind of booming, or which is great in a company, great in a market right now. Okay, and third, when you work good in some company, suppose you're working good in, let's say, in some team of the Qualcomm, and that manager likes you, that the way you are doing it. Okay, there's always a possibility that you resign from the Sasken and join directly to the Qualcomm. Okay, and this happens. Okay, I'm just giving you one example of Qualcomm. It's like, I'm just giving the normal example, but this happens a lot in industry. Okay, so and then you directly became a Qualcomm employee then. Okay, and once you become a Qualcomm employee, then no one asks you back. Okay, that how much marks you got in BTech, which college you're coming from the BTech. Okay, you're not from IIT. No, we don't take. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, once your experience grows, okay, the marks what you got in college, the college which you belongs to, the kind of the importance of that reduces, and your experience importance increases that time. Okay, hence I was saying that start with something and then start looking for also, the bigger ones. Okay, if you see the Abhishek Rao's example, I mean, he started working in some startup, then he slowly moved to some other company, then slowly he moved to the Benz. Now he went to the Benz. He then, after that, if suppose he shift to some other company, no one will ask him that, how much marks you got it and which college he belongs to. Okay, so that's what happens always. Okay, I mean, so I mean, keep yourself open for the options always. Keep yourself option. When you have the options, you can always do things in the way you like it. Okay, you can always look for better ones, as you go ahead. Okay, these are the contact companies. I have not listed software companies. Okay, I mean, there's a plenty of software companies as well. Okay, which is service based company. And um, I mean, it's not bad. Okay, I mean, see, I mean, frankly speaking, if I would have got in Intel, I would have working in Receive Instrument or in Infosys somewhere. But do something. Okay, I mean, try and do something. Get it. If you like coding, why not go it? It's people have seen growing. I have seen people coming from the communication domain, and they have done a lot of better work in telecommunication field. And I have seen people going from telecommunication field, they have done very good job in in AI, or in basically in other fields like software engineering, in the matter of that, in security. So don't restrict yourself with only one options. Okay, if you see the company is good, if you see that you can do it, interdisciplinary doesn't matter. I mean, see the guy, the I think second richest now, again back to Tesla owner. Okay, he comes from the electrical background, right? And he designs cars. Okay, see and he runs SpaceX. Okay, I mean, there's no relation between electrical, right? I mean, but how can he do that? Because it's always takes on challenge. Okay, and he always takes on challenge, and he always grow on that, right? I mean, so don't be afraid. Okay, I mean, if you think that you can do it, go for it. Okay, and some people who are interested in government jobs, I mean, as we know, it's secure. It's, I mean, a lot of perks you get it in government jobs. So you can always look in these companies like, ISRO, DRDO, Bill, HAL, SAIL, NTPC, Airport Authority. I know some lot of people who have joined Airport Authority, and it's quite a good job actually, Airport Authority. So, and but these, I mean, there's no reference, nothing works here. You just have to look into their portal whenever the application comes, you have to fill. It takes a few years actually to get into this, and that too, if you're lucky, and because there's a lot of conditions applies in the government companies, right? So but if you are really interested, and if you think that you can crack it, I mean, if you have because they have some pattern of exams, right? I mean, and if you can, if you think that you can do it, you're welcome. There's options. I just want to tell you that. And then what are the jobs you have it here, right? You can always, this is a few only I have listed, which I could remember in a short time. So like telecommunication engineer, of course, like, you can go back to, if you have to map it, then you can map to the Qualcomm, MediaTek, Samsung, Ericsson, Nokia. You can map to these companies, right? You can become a telecommunications, any of these company, right? And you can always become a research and development. Okay, these companies, okay, like, okay, so there's always a two part of a companies. Like I said, three part, in the big picture. Okay, one, they do research. They tell what can be do, okay, by doing the research, and the failure is accepted here. Second is about the development. Okay, so whatever the researchers told that, and they have to code and make the things done in that way. Third, they have to read what researcher told and what you have done, okay, the developers, and they have to come here and say that, okay, this is not correct, you should fix this, and we should do this way. Okay, this is a basic layout of any product or any development you do in the world actually, right? So there's always a research and development field which is on the top of it, which needs people to do the research in that particular field. Okay, and that's also the options you have it. Okay, I mean, network planning engineers are required, like, I mean, like, suppose some signals are not coming, do you really need to put basically towers there or not? Can you handle it some other way? Okay, so those things requires your expertise in RF, your require expertise in analog signals, right? And so those, your communication backgrounds helps there to do that. Okay, firmware engineers, I mean, the firmware basically means that any hardware, right, you have it, you write some software on top of it to make things work. Okay, that's nothing but a firmware engineers, right? And any chip, right? Suppose if I talk about the chip design, right? Now you designed a chip, okay, but after that, how it works, okay, that need to be written as a software on top of it. Okay, need to be fed it into it. Okay, that is called firmware engineers. Now that job is always there, because when you write what to be done, you need to understand technology, you need to understand the telecommunication field, hence a firmware engineer job. And if you see the Qualcomm portal, MediaTek portal, you will find plenty of firmware engineer jobs available there. Okay, so you can always look into that. Okay, And I said, right, don't restrict to the only the big companies. Okay, if you see the firmware engineering job in some small companies, work for 1 2 years and get experience, move it to big companies if you like. Okay, that's always there. Okay, and everyone knows that. Okay, and work system works like this way. Okay, then you have the validation engineer. Okay, as I said earlier, like you always need the layer below which tells what is right, what is not right, how it can be done. That's a validation engineer, right? So you can always do that. System is basically which looks at the complete system. Okay, let's say some issue is coming and developer doesn't know, not able to figure it out. The verification is really not able to point it out. Then the system just comes to the picture, and they really look into the each stacks, each options, and then they point to the point. Okay, here we have the problem. Okay, so they have the kind of overall knowledge of a system, but they generally don't code that much. Okay, the don't coding is not required that much there, right? But you have to study a lot, so you understand a complete system, right? Then VLSI designer, of course, to design a chip, to do the VHDL or Verilog modification, or the implement of the design. You always have to know the basics. Okay, the CMOS and all those stuff. So VLSI designers come into that category. They design the chips, and of course the satellite communication also, they need the background of communication to be done. And these are the few. Okay, there will be, and there always are more than this available. Okay, so whole point is that, look yourself, okay, as a guy, and you have these many options, and you need only one job where you can fit yourself, only one. Okay, and for example, let's say you have so many small holes, and you want to throw one ball. There's a high probability that you'll throw somewhere. Okay, whatever your liking is there, whatever you think that you can do it in a better way, wherever you think that you can crack your exams, in the interviews in a good way, you can always shift your attention towards that, and get it done. Okay, it's possible. Okay, and thousands of lakhs of people are doing each year, so why not you? You can also do it. Okay, believe in yourself. I always say that. If you believe in yourself, you can always do that. Okay, try for it. Okay, next is, how do you prepare for a job? Okay, I just wanted to tell you what I feel, because okay, so being in 5 to 6 years in industry, I got an opportunity while being in Intel to take some of the interviews. While I was in 4G or 5G, I was taking some interviews, because 5G is a lot of work. Okay, you really need a lot of people, and hence our team was needing a lot of people, and hence I had to do number of interviews that time. And when I shifted to my next project also, we were needing people, so I had to do the interview. So what I see basically, okay, when I meet, and when I give my ratings to my higher management, that okay, you should consider us, or should you consider him for the next round or not, is only I look in these four things. Okay, if you are good in these four things, most likely you will reach to the another interviews pocket, and most likely will might get a job as well. Okay, the first one, okay, which is very important. Okay, that's called basics. Okay, um, let's say, you got a time to study in college for 4 years. Okay, now, and I ask you a question. Can you tell me what is modulation? Why do you need modulation? Okay, why carrier frequency is higher? Okay, why frequency modulation came into picture? What is the problem with AM modulation? Okay, why OFDM is required? How OFDM can be used? Why peak to power ratio is high in OFDM? Okay, these are the questions. Okay, which is quite basics to communication. Okay, now if you're not able to give these answers, okay, uh, then the problem starts. What problem start? Okay, if let's say if I'm an interviewer, okay, the first thought comes that something which you should have learned, okay, in 4 years. Okay, and these are the very basics points. If you don't understand, if I hire my company, what is the probability that you will work the way company needs it, and what is the requirement we have it, you will do that. Because the requirement, what is the requirement study? The requirement study is that you study the subjects which are assigned by the university or college, right? Now, while doing that, you didn't understand these basics. Okay, why should I hire you? It's very simple logic. It's you can relate to yourself to it, right? Now, hence you get out of it. You people don't take you if you don't answer these questions. Okay, these are the very basic question. And even actually, it's a truth. Actually, I have asked these questions to the people whom I have interviewed. Okay, and many of them haven't answered it. That's a problem I have it, of course. Okay, they have the communication um, um, certificates, but they do not know why OFDM is used, why, why peak-to-peak ratio is used, why if you split data into the different frequencies, okay, how it helps your data transmission. Okay, I mean, these are the, what I say, the okay, if you're cooking, let's say if you're cooking, you say you're a chef, okay, and you want to cook, let's say semia today, okay, and you do not know that what is texture of milk. Okay, how can you really hire you in my hotel? No, if you do not know how milk looks like, you're gonna probably make something which gonna make my hotel shut down, right? And that's the basics what I want to tell you, that you have to understand, okay, that what is the basics of the communication, and these are the basics. Okay, when you talk about, okay, like you don't understand like complete model of, let's say you don't remember the complete channels, okay, but you should always understand what is frequency correction. Should always understand um, what is sync channel, okay, why it's required, okay, why frequency correction is needed. So these are the very basics that you should always understand. Okay, what is the Doppler effect? Okay, why OFDM is bad for the Doppler effect, why it acts as badly, why ISI reduces in OFDM. Okay, and why I'm talking about more about OFDM is the reason being OFDM is it's one of the best, I can say, the inventions what we have in communication. If you see, 4G and 5G has been heavily dependent on OFDM. Okay, hence the questions grows in that. Okay, now so let's say if you go for a signal processing, okay, you have to understand what FFT means. Okay, why FFT is needed. Okay, these are the basics. Okay, learn for this. Okay, even let's say if you're going for some interviews, and look, first of all, look for the profile, what kind of things that guy needs, and always go back and just read it. Okay, you might have studied sometime, and sometimes it's just don't come up, but just read through it. Okay, once again, and go with this. That's the basics. Okay, always try to stick to the basics, learn about it. And if you don't give the big answers, right, I always consider it like, you don't know how to design complete network structure, it's okay. No one expects that, and not ever going to do that. Okay, if you understand this basics, you can always do that. That's the idea in the industry. Okay, the second thing is about the coding. Okay, I didn't like coding initially when basically I started my career. Even when I was in college, I kind of always liked I had a lot of interest in RF as well. Okay, I want to do something in RF, but things didn't work out that way. But it's okay. Things doesn't work out the way always you want it. It's okay to have like that way. Okay, but piece of advice, because I'm already here. You still have a time basically to learn it. Like if you're a first year student, or you're second year student, or even third year student, even matter of fact a fourth year student, still you have a time basically that you can learn a coding. Okay, what I basically coding, what you have to do. Okay, see, if you look for the communication jobs, okay, people is gonna ask you about C++. Simple. If you go for the pure firmware development, okay, if you go for embedding, okay, people are gonna ask you system C. Okay, these are the fundamentals. Even let's say if you don't know system C, and you tell him that, hey, I know C++, but people might consider you for even system C. The reason being, if you understand C++, he understands, okay, he has a logic. How can he write a test case in C++? He can always do things in system C. And same goes with Python. Okay, if you know C++, because I know when I shifted to my next project, that requirement was Python. Okay, pure Python. I had to write codes, and I didn't know the Python at all, because I never learned it. Okay, but I had learned Java, because my previous work was native Java. So the interview took my whole interview in Java, and he said, it's okay, Java, I know Python can be done. Okay, that always works. Okay, interview always asks you that what language you know. And once he understands that this particular language, he will mostly have fair understanding of language, because he's interviewed, so he should have that knowledge. And he will mostly ask a question in that, and if you good in that, and at least decent in that, okay, he will consider you. So suppose, oops, right? And someone ask you like, oops, what is oops, why it's used, okay, how it helps, like why you need to have the header files, why do you source it, why you don't basically how do you basically kill any memory, how memory can be utilized, how you can leak a memory in system. These are the few basics actually when you start doing codings, right, in C++. You have to understand these things. Okay, if you understand, see, basics in coding, I see 85% of things is done. Okay, for your job. Okay, Third one is about talking. Basically, we're talking, and I didn't mean that too much talking. I basically meant that communication skills here. Okay, you need to have a not a great communication skill, but you need to have a decent communication skills. Okay, why I basically mean the decent communication skill is that I mean, you do something and you know something, but if you cannot pass it to the second one and you cannot basically express yourself to the management or colleague, then you become a problematic piece in a game, right? I mean, example. I mean, let's say I mean, a lot of people might have watched cricket, right? I mean, there's a one guy who retired, and let's say there's a no option, like you cannot take the another runner to run your, and you have a cramp and you're running. See, the scoreboard is gonna go down, right? Because if 2 runs someone scores, you might run for only 1 run, right? And you're lingering, you're kind of making your task, your match to fail, right? So talking is something similar to that. Okay, talking basically means that whatever you know and whatever you want to communicate, you communicate in a good fashion. Okay, you talk to people, you can talk to people in good way. I mean, you have a sense of talking. Okay, sense of talking basically means that there's a lot of things that that can be said to your friend, but that shouldn't be said to the colleague, and because that's a company. Okay, so you have the sense of what to talk to people. Okay, how you basically communicate your ideas to your management. Okay, these are the few things that you should know, and it's not great, it's not something that that you cannot do that. I mean, if you can speak decent English and you have a sense of your surrounding, you can always take care of this part. Okay, so just put a little bit work on that. Okay, I mean, in the interviews, right, if you talk in a very confident matter, right, people you always the interview get it's impression that okay, you know things. Okay, and that happens, and I think that has worked lot for me as well, because in I got a lot of marks in vivas. Maybe the reason was that. Okay, one reason was that, and it helps in really in jobs as well. Okay, the next one is a processor. What basically I mean by processor is that, I mean, when you have to do something, right, I mean, things kind of changes. Okay, I mean, when you go to the company, it's not always that what you have learned 100% getting utilized. Okay, just 5 to 10% get utilized, new things will come. So you know try to adapt that things with you, right? Okay, I mean, suppose you get something, okay, you have to work on that. Okay, I can do in that also. Okay, don't get static, be dynamic. Okay, be dynamic, become a processor. You get some input, process it, and then feed it to get a result out of it. I mean, very simple example, right? I mean, our brains has the same content, all of us, right? But someone is successful, someone is not. Okay, let's say, suppose if you're born in Maharashtra, right, most likely you will speak Marathi. If you're born in Gujarat, most likely you start Gujarati, right? Why it's like that? Okay, see, I mean, the speaking is same. Okay, only the content what process out, that is different. And that's how I say the great thing about the brain, right? It's not static, it's meant to be the dynamic. Okay, be yourself also dynamic. I mean, you get new opportunities, you get something exciting, something which can be in future. Okay, something that you have not done, but you think that you can do, go for it. Okay, do your best, and I'm sure that if you put your efforts, everything is possible. It's very simple. Okay, so that can also, you can also be little be dynamic. Okay, these are 4 things I see, but always you see, the higher weightage I always give to the basics and codings. Okay, it's required. Okay, no matter you go where, you have to write things. Okay, I mean, you have to write things on computer itself. I mean, it is like that. Even let's say I have been so much doing things in communication, I go to 3GPP, I read 4G spec, I read 5G specs. Sometimes, let's say 20% of time goes in that, but after reading, I have to always come back and write those things in my coding. In a coding, basically, like how channels should work, how channels should not work, what are the limitations of it, what is book, what is, I mean, these all things are required. Okay, so the coding is essentials actually. Okay, so try to prepare your things in this way, and you will be successful. I mean, there's a nothing rocket science again to do this. Okay, with this I kind of conclude my presentation. I would like to take questions, whatever you have it. Please shoot. Okay, how did you prepare for the GATE exams? Okay, that's the first question by Avijit. Okay, good question actually, and I was quite lucky actually. Okay, I will tell you short about how I have been doing things. So I mean, after 12th, I don't belong to a very rich family or so. Okay, I mean, I had to take a home loan, but I didn't take actually. Okay, I didn't get actually. I should say like that way. Okay, I tried, but I didn't get. The reason being that. Our bank guy said that your the place where you stay that on we don't give loans to those places. Okay, I used to stay in Nalasopara at that time. They were like, and I used to stay in some chawl area that time, and they were like, no, we don't give in those areas. Doesn't it can become an NPA to us, so we don't give. And I was like, okay, fine. So he did give the money, and hence I took my parents somehow manage it. So I always wanted to actually, kind of get some money, generate some money in my pocket, right? And hence what I did, I started teaching in classes. Okay, so as soon as I completed my first year, our timing, right? I mean, around 9 to 3, 4:30 or 5, I think we have timing. So I used to, I think, reach Nalasopara, I think 5:30 or 6:30 around that time. And that while going back before home, I had these classes on the way. So there I used to teach to the 11th student and sometimes 12th standard students as well. Okay, and that helped me actually. Okay, in when I used to, taught them for, let's say, 3 years, like like second year, third year, and fourth year. Actually, I was 3 years I was teaching to them to 11, 12 standard students. So the basics of, let's say, maths, even the physics was kind of get always refreshed, always had a refresh of that. And also after that, I kind of, when I was, I think, in the last year of my engineering, I should not say that, but I used to bunk my half period from the Mondays. Okay, Mondays I generally used to bunk half periods, and used to go to sometime library, and sometime I go to home and I used to study only for the gate. But it was very systematic. Okay, that bunk was very systematic. It was not like a real bunk. I was studying. That's why I was bunking it. Okay, so I was studying actually. So don't take it bunk and go. Like if I'm studying, it's sometime acceptable. Something acceptable in that case. So that's how I actually prepared for my gate. Okay, Manjushri, how did you manage getting into master as soon as the computer? Yeah, that's the same answer, I think, Manju. That while I was doing my BTech, I had I mean, what I did for getting some money, that kind of helped me for getting prepared myself, and hence I kind of got a decent mark in GATE, and so getting into the masters, immediately after that. Shivam, for B fresher, what other than basic is required to get into the either Intel or Qualcomm, because they mostly prefer people with experience? Okay, Shivam. So that's true. What you're saying, it's true. Okay, I mean, Intel, or matter of the fact that Qualcomm, they looks for the experience. Okay, but it's not like that. They don't take the freshers. Okay, I have seen they take the freshers. Okay, but directly, if you apply from outside, you get it. It's quite tough. Okay, how I got it, if you see in the Intel, or I know some people at Qualcomm, they go for the internship. Okay, so don't kind of underestimate the internship. Internship is very, very good in current situation. Okay, if you get an internship, people understand how do basically you do things. Then it becomes very less relevant that you belongs to which college and you are a fresher in that time. If you do good work at that time, there's a high probability that people will take you. Okay, so look for internship. That's answer I can give it to you. Himanshu, what is the scope of software development in hardware developing company? Okay, so software development. Okay, so basically this is the answer to the one point I took it. That was about firmware engineers, right? I mean, whenever any hardware gets designed, right, you always has to write software on top of it so that hardware works. For example, let's say even a CPU, right? I mean, in CPU you have the processor, right? Now, if you just manufacture a process and if you don't put into something to it, okay, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. Okay, let's say it has, let's say NAND gates, AND gates, and all those, right? But how those gates should work, how those gates should really, take care, signally passing, taking care of interrupts, all those things need to be written in a code in a software which get pushed into the hardware. Okay, hence you always have the scope of software development on a hardware developing company as well. And all hardware developing company needs a software guy. I mean, there's no escaping. I mean, they read it, otherwise it cannot be done. There's no hardware actually otherwise if you don't have a software. Okay, so both are related. Prashant, what is the work of software developer in hardware-oriented semiconductor industry? Is it to develop assembly machine language for the specificities? Yes, one thing. Yes, it's actually, so see, you write something in C. So basically you create a firmware and you push it into the your chip. Okay, so that's the same actually the question what Himanshu has asked, and that's how basically the semiconductor industry completely works. Okay, so yes, I mean you need to write a code, but you don't actually code generally in assembly. You code it in C++ and get converted, and then it pushed down to the machine language, and it goes translated down the line. So in Intel, a big name in technology world, how was your interview and your approach towards Intel Corporation? Okay, so how was my interview? That was quite funny actually. I wasn't actually invited for the interview when I had for my internship interview. So I mean, I got to know. I mean, around 1 hour before when my interview is there for the internship. But I was like, okay, I mean, let me give a try. I mean, anyway, there's no harm, right? I mean, as I told you, right? I always has that approach that if I don't get it, it's okay for me. But there's no harm in like giving a try. You give a try, you don't get it, it's okay. Simple answer. Okay. So for that thought, I went there, and it was quite okay. The reason being why it's okay, that the people who come for the interview, right? I mean, they have also gone through the BTech masters, getting into jobs, so they understand. Okay, that when you are in masters or you are in BTech, what will the level of knowledge you would be pursuing that time. Okay, so they have that idea. Okay, so they don't ask you just to show off that what they know. So for me actually, if I see, they asked me the very basics. Okay, for example, they started with a question, even I remember today, that what is communication and how communication is done. Can you just suppose if I layman, how do you answer? Okay, that let's say if I have to, communication has to done, okay, in digital communication or analog communication, how should I really think about? Okay, then I give an example. Okay, let's say suppose if someone has to travel from let's say Virar to Churchgate, I take train. So my train is nothing but my carrier, and I am actually the signal there, which is more important. Okay, and the same goes with the communication, right? I mean, you take some 10 hertz, 20 hertz signals, you take it, put it on some higher frequency and transmit it. Now you remove that big guy and you take what you like. Okay, so that's how the communication, that's what the first question he asked me, and then he went into a little bit deeper into this. So what I basically meant is that the interviews are not rocket science. They won't ask you, they always ask you the basics and normal questions. Okay, so prepare for that, and there's a high probability that you can get into that. Abhijit, so did you leave a particular subject or prepared a particular subject more than others for GATE? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm not sure actually. What I remember, I think I kind of prepared most of it. I remember I had a one big book. I don't remember the name as such, and I was kind of preparing through that. And I mean, I had a kind of maybe diverse. I mean, liking with the subject. So I was doing kind of everything. Most of the things I covered. But for the particular, I mean, if you have a subject, maybe you can talk to someone who is more expert about preparing for the GATE. For me, if you ask, then I don't think so. I don't think so. As today's scenario, going to core jobs like communication is very tough. So to do one need to do masters, or one can go to core by entering into the corporate sector. Okay, so Himanshu, this question is quite specific to the person. Okay, if you see me, I always wanted to do masters. Okay, hence I went for the masters. Okay, but I know a lot of people, they wanted to do job. So if you think that you like job, you should go to some companies. If you get a product based big companies, great. Okay, if you don't get it, go into some small companies which does the job which big guys are, big companies you will be targeting in future. Do very good job there, learn as much as you can, and though no one can stop you to getting in the big companies. Because let's say even let's say I'm hiring, and suppose someone coming from the small, I actually never look even that, suppose someone's coming to a small company or big company. Okay, if I see he has a decent amount of experience and he knows things which I am looking for my job, which I know the work he's gonna do, people hire you. Okay, so it's up to you. If you like to go to masters, go if well and do it. And but if you like to do job, then start doing it. Both is fine actually. Okay, any other questions? Okay, no, I think. Great, I hope you would have liked the session. Anyone can ask anything, or maybe any sir can talk about it. Anything, I mean, just a free discussion. Okay, Shivam, I think I have one more question. Actually, there was a vacancy of Intel with a recent resume and a good number of projects. I tried applying, but no reply. Okay, that happens. Okay, that happens, Shivam. That because the thing is that, right? I mean, there's a lot of people applies. Okay, I mean, let's say not a single people apply for a given company. There's a plenty of people applies. In that case, there's a high probability that sometime you might not get a reply back. But don't worry about it. I mean, maybe that job was already been taken, or I mean, sometime job vacancies get even kind of removed because of a lot of internal reasons. So in those cases also, don't worry about it. I mean, you can always apply in some other option you see, or maybe you can, in that cases, maybe you can reach to me if you're talking about the Intel. I can always forward your resume to Intel, and it gives little, like 0.1 possibility that maybe extra that, I mean, they might look into it. So I can always refer whoever, if you need in Intel, or maybe in matter of fact Qualcomm also, if you're looking, then I can always have, make you contact to someone, my friend, so he can always give you the resume, and then after that we have to see that, if your resume is good, and if the person is really liking, then he can always come and give you go for the interview. Okay. So thank you. This much from my side. I hope you guys have enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Now, as we know, every beginning has an end. So here we are at the end of our series of Alumni Talk. Let me take the honor of saying thank you to each and everyone who was involved in planning, executing, and turning this event into great success. With this, I would like to heartily thank Mr. Jay Thakur, sir, for taking some of his time out and sharing all of his experiences and his valuable guidance with us. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, Nandini. Thanks to you all for listening. I hope it helps.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Uh,
Okay.
Now, I would like to request all the students to turn their camera on as we want to take some photos for this session. Students, yeah.
Jay, so maybe you can stop the recording.
Tushar sir, why is you in so much of darkness?
I don't know. Actually, without the curtain.
Jai sir, you can stop presenting so we can just take the photos properly. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Nandini, can I share something?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now you can share.
Okay, dear student, just I want to add something to whatever the Jay has shared with us. Actually, about the Jay, I taught him 2 subjects in final year. Am I right, Jay?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Jay was supposed to sit on the first bench, and Jay, you have not shared your gate marks actually exactly.
No, I mean, it was okay. I mean, I think some 140 something. I think 146 something. I think so.
Yes, he got, I think, a 99 percentile in the regular 8th semester. And the tragedy also with Jay in the last semester about the wireless network subject.
Yes.
Yes. Guys, you can't believe that NIT has hold 1 seat for Jay Thakur.
Took for a long time, actually. That took for a long time. I was actually in the end. Yeah, I was in the end like, okay, I'm not gonna get admission. It's gonna get cancelled.
Yes, NIT, they have hold 1 admission for Jay Thakur based on his performance and all. Because last में, in Mumbai University, उसका supplement ही check हुआ था. Paper check ही नहीं हुआ था. Right.
Right.
Yes. It is very nice to see you, Jay, as
Thank
you
you,
are
sir.
guided
you, sir.
very well to the students, and definitely they will gain some knowledge and how to prepare basically for the mainly for the core industries.
Correct. And that's the idea also, right? I mean, the alumni that you taught us, and we are doing decent, and we say something which kind of get them next level, and then they help the juniors, right? And the whole world works like that way, right? So
Yes,
so
yes.
I mean, it's our actually duty. We should do like that. There's a no thank you for that. I mean, it's our
It's not
duty.
working day also. We have given time for the students. That's great for the.
That's okay. I mean, like this happens once in rarely, right? Once in a while. So I mean, it can always take out time.
I request everyone to turn on their cams again. Actually, the photograph was not taken. So I request everyone to please turn on their cams again. We'll have a quick photograph. The photography team can just say when it's done. Done, Kapil?
Yeah, done.
Okay, over to you, Nandini.
Yes, thank you. So now, thank you very much, Tushar sir, for sharing that experience with all of us. Now, we all know that this webinar series has been such a great opportunity for all the students to gain some extra guidance so that they can start preparing for their journeys, and hopefully many of us will be the ones speaking as our alumni did in this session. Now, I would like to thank all the professors as they were the foundation in making this webinar series a big success. Also, a big thank you for our asset team as they were the building blocks working and executing this webinar series to make this series a success and work properly. Now, a last big thank you for all the students for showing such a great support throughout the 3 days of the series and participating equally, though it be from with QR series, being present and taking all of the experience which our alumni shared with us. Thank you all of you, and here we conclude our series.
The feedback from attendance form has been shared in the chat box. Everyone, please fill it before leaving. I request Jai sir, if you could please post your contact details, especially the
Sure,
LinkedIn ID, so that students can contact you for any further support.
sure. I'll do that. I'll do that. So here I have pasted. You can always contact me.
Okay, thank you, Jay.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Yes.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you, sir, for joining in.
Well,
Thank you, one and all.
yes, yes. All asset members are here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
sir.
Good work. All have shown a very. You have managed very nicely.
Thank you, sir.
We can say that it's a grand success. Your first program.
Yes, we can. Little bit the Sunday effect was seen, but still it went out smooth.
That's okay. That's we will see.
Bibin sir, if you could stop the recording, please. Tushar sir, can you please ask Bibin sir to stop the recording?
Yes, yes. Bipin sir, रिकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप करो. उनको कुछ बात करना आई थिंक आई. हाँ.
Sir, actually, let the recording be stopped.